One email, that's all that it takes now. One email from Mark Zuckerberg to nearly 8,000 Meta employees, informing them that they were out. In the memo, Zuckerberg thanked employees for helping build Meta, acknowledged the emotional weight of the layoffs, and called it a painful decision. But here's the thing, this is no longer just another Silicon Valley layoff story. Not anymore. Because for thousands of Indians working in America, losing a job today can also mean losing the right to stay in the country. In Donald Trump's America, the countdown starts the moment an H-1B worker is fired. 60 days, find another employer, get fresh visa sponsorship, clear immigration paperwork, or leave the United States. And suddenly, a corporate email becomes something much, much bigger, a deportation timer. Across America right now, thousands of laid-off Indian tech workers are scrambling. You just need to scroll through social media to see the flood. Interview calls, emergency paperwork, immigration lawyers, visa transfers, because everything is now hanging on one number: 60 days. Homes, children's school admissions, medical insurance, green card queues built over years, everything can collapse if another employer does not step in fast enough. And the timing could not be worse, because America's tech sector is bleeding jobs. In 2026 alone, so far, more than 100,000 tech employees across over 140 companies have already lost their jobs. And many of them are Indians. Why? Because Indians dominate America's H-1B ecosystem. US immigration data shows that Indians accounted for nearly 70% of approved H-1B petitions in fiscal year 2025. For years, that made Indians the backbone of Silicon Valley. Today, it makes them the biggest victims of America's tech slowdown, and increasingly, America's political anger. For decades, Americans wanted Indian engineers. Silicon Valley depended on them. They built the code, they ran the systems, they powered the AI boom and kept America's tech machine running. But buried inside the H-1B system was always a trap. The visa is tied to the employer. Lose the employer, lose legal stability. Under US immigration rules, workers get a 60-day grace period or until their I-94 expires, whichever comes first. Sounds manageable on paper. In reality, however, 2 months disappear very fast, especially in a tech industry which is now frozen by uncertainty. Hiring freezes, delayed interviews, AI restructuring, immigration scrutiny. This is really no longer just about finding a job. It is about finding a company willing to sponsor a foreign worker in a slowing economy. And that is getting harder. Many Indians are now trying backup options, temporarily switching to B1 or B2 visitor visas just to buy more time. But immigration lawyers say that even that route is tightening. Authorities are issuing more requests for evidence and more notices of intent, quote unquote, to deny. The message increasingly feels blunt. You are welcome till you are useful. The layoffs are not random. They are part of Silicon Valley's AI war. Meta alone is reportedly spending more than $100 billion this year on artificial intelligence. Zuckerberg wants a flatter team, leaner structures, AI-first operations, and therefore, in this May 20th memo, Zuckerberg called AI the most consequential technology of our times, and in the same breath said that companies leading the AI race would define the future. And therein lies the contradiction. AI teams are expanding, human workers are being cut. Thousands are paying the price for this transition, and Indian workers are, of course, being hit especially hard because many of them spent years trapped in America's green card backlog. Now, suddenly they are calculating exit routes, Canada, Europe, maybe even back to India. Trump's America is no longer feeling all that much stable. And now there is also the question of the political storm. A group of Republican lawmakers has introduced a new proposal called the End H-1B Visa Abuse Act of 2026. Now that bill is aggressive. Pause H-1B visas for 3 years, slash annual caps, raise minimum salaries to $200,000, restrict dependents, ban staffing firms, and curb pathways to permanent residency. And the rhetoric is getting even sharper. Congressman Paul Gosar called H-1B a system, quote-unquote, rigged against Americans. Andy Ogles said Americans were becoming strangers in their own country. This is no longer just an immigration debate. It is becoming political theatre built around foreign workers, and Indians, unfortunately, are right at the center of it. And this is where the story gets even darker. The H-1 debate is no longer only about jobs. It is becoming racial. According to reports cited by the New York Times, anti-India rhetoric online has exploded in recent years. Research group Stop AAPI Hate says anti-South Asian slurs linked to targeted violence has gone up by 115%. Another study found posts carrying slogans like Deport Indians generated hundreds of millions of views online. The narrative is dangerous. Indians are increasingly being painted as job thieves, welfare burdens, outsiders. While Silicon Valley's Indian engineers are now becoming political punching bags in America's culture wars. For decades, America sold itself as a land of opportunity, and Indian engineers helped build that story. They powered Silicon Valley, built startups, strengthened America's technological dominance. But today, many of them are discovering a brutal reality. In times of economic anxiety, immigrants become the easiest targets. The H-1B debate is now exposing a deeper fault line inside America itself, between globalization and nationalism, between economic dependence and political resentment. And for thousands of Indians, the American dream suddenly is looking very fragile. This layoff email is no longer just a corporate decision. In today's America, it can become an eviction notice from an entire country.